So, the NFL draft is just 2 weeks away, and I've been doing a series where I go over my top prospects at every position. I've already done 4 videos on this topic, so if you'd like to see them all, go check them out if you'd like. But today we're going to be talking about linebackers. It is one of the strongest positions in this class. There's high-end talent and there's a lot of depth down the board. But let's get into my grading scale. There's going to be a variety of grades in this class, so stay tuned to see what those grading tiers are. But let's go ahead and get into the first prospect. So my number 1 linebacker in this class is Arvell Reese from Ohio State. He is a very interesting prospect. Let's get into the good side. Number 1, he's got very good size. He's 6'4", 240-ish, which is a solid size for a linebacker. Plus his arm length is solid. It's nothing special, but it's good. His athleticism, though, is very good. He's got elite speed and his movement skills on tape are excellent. And what he shows on tape is legitimately impressive. The best part of his game is his run defense. It is elite. And he is an elite tackler as well. He rarely misses tackles and he tackles with a lot of authority. Plus, he's got pass rush upside and coverage upside with his athletic ability. And with how much upside he has, he's got a lot of position versatility. So that makes him a chess piece on defense in that he can play a lot of different positions, depending on what the scheme is. Now, the confusing part when it comes to Arvell Reese is, what is he going to play in the NFL? His pass rush ability, while good and he's got upside, he doesn't really have the instincts really developed yet. He wins through athleticism, not necessarily through technique. So his pass rush overall is still raw. And his coverage ability is a little hit or miss. While he's a great athlete, he's a little limited when it comes to lateral movement. And that slows him down when it comes to more athletic running backs and tight ends. And he can have some difficulty covering them. So his coverage isn't perfect, which makes him not ideal as a linebacker, but he can play there. And his pass rush is still underdeveloped, so he's not an immediate plug and play there. The best way I can really describe Arvell Reese as a prospect is, imagine an edge rusher as a square peg and an off-ball linebacker as a circle peg. Arvell Reese is a triangle. Though he can technically fit in both the square and the circle, it's not a clean fit. He's one of the most scheme-dependent players in this draft class. He's got a good floor. His athletic floor, his run defense, immediately going to get him playing time, and he's going to be a quality starter. But if he's to ever reach his ceiling, he needs an excellent defensive coordinator to really unlock that potential. My number 2 linebacker in this class is Sonny Styles from Ohio State. Now, this is a true off-ball linebacker, and he's by far the best off-ball linebacker in this class. He is an absolutely elite athlete with elite speed and great explosiveness, plus very good size to come along with it. With that speed, he can cover sideline to sideline, and as an off-ball linebacker, he's extremely effective in zone coverage. He is one of the best linebackers in zone in this class. Plus, as a tackler, he's also excellent, and he's a very good run defender as well. For linebackers, he's probably one of the more complete off-ball linebackers in this class. Now, he does, of course, have some downsides, as every prospect does. However, I do think they are a little more forgivable and give him a higher floor overall. His man coverage ability is limited. His hips aren't very fluid, so that limits his ability to really change direction quickly and follow tight ends and running backs in coverage. He's better in zone, where he can read the eyes of the quarterback and make plays that way. And as a pass rusher, his upside is limited there. His size, while fine, is not really good enough to really play on the defensive line, so he can get stuck on offensive linemen, and when an offensive lineman comes running at him, it's going to be hard for him to shed that block. And he still has some work to do in terms of instincts. He's only had 2 full seasons playing at linebacker, so he hasn't fully developed the instincts to really maximize his potential yet. So he's a little bit of a project, but I wouldn't say it's that much. I think he's got a pretty good floor as is, but his ceiling is sky high and really can be an elite linebacker in the league if he can go up to that ceiling. But even then, I think he can be still a really good starter in the league. My number 3 linebacker in this class is Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas. This is one of my favorite linebackers in this class, as you can tell by my number 3 ranking. He's a great athlete. He's got elite speed. He's an exceptional tackler. He's a very good run defender. He can cover in zone coverage extremely well, and he's got upside as a pass rusher. I mean, he can basically do it all. And he's one of the more complete linebackers in this class, and those are very far in between. He's got an extremely quick trigger, so when he sees ball, he goes after ball. And he's got great ball production as well. He forces fumbles. He creates interceptions. I mean, he's a big play waiting to happen on defense. And he comes up in big moments for Texas as well. He had massive performances against extremely good teams all the way from his freshman season. So he's been doing this for a long time. And as a blitzer, he creates problems for the offense. He's got 17 sacks as a linebacker, which is very impressive. Now, of course, with every prospect, there are their cons. Number 1 for him, Anthony Hill is fairly light for a linebacker. Now, it's not terrible weight, and for most linebackers in the league right now, they are around this weight, but it is still a problem when it comes to blocking. He struggles to disengage from blocks. If he gets caught in a block, it's pretty much game over for that play. So typically, to get around that, he uses his athleticism to typically get around the blocks. And that's how he makes his money. But when an offensive lineman comes to block him, he's going to have issues. Plus, he can be a little over-aggressive at times, which creates vulnerabilities that offenses can't exploit. Plus, his man coverage, while okay, is still not ideal. He shows some hip stiffness. It's not really a surprise. Most linebackers do, but that's just something to note. And his tackle technique can be a little iffy at times. While he's still a very reliable tackler, he can tackle a little high at times, which allows rushers to get a couple extra yards rather than hitting them with authority and knocking them back and stopping their progress completely. Plus, play action can draw his eyes back into the backfield, which can leave receivers open behind him, and quarterbacks have exploited that before. That is something to work on. But still, he is one of my favorite linebackers in this class, and I think he should go higher than he really will be. My number 4 linebacker in this class is Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. This guy has been a media darling ever since the offseason started. I mean, he has been one of the most productive linebackers in college. Let me read you out his awards that he won. He won the 2025 Chuck Bednarik Award. He won the 2025 Dick Buktis Award. He won the 2025 Bronco Nagurski Award. These are some hard names. And he won the 2025 Lombardi Award. I mean, he was insane this year. He had 128 tackles this year. And he forced a good amount of turnovers along with it. I mean, he's got elite speed, very good athleticism, active and violent hands, and absurd ball production this season. And with how he moves on the field, it is a joy to watch him. I mean, his coverage instincts are excellent, one of the best in the class, and his run defense is also extremely strong. Now, there are a few cons with him, why he may vary on boards. Number 1, he's undersized. That's been pretty much the main sticking point to his game. He is only 6'1", a little bit lighter than most linebackers at 231, which will get you moved by offensive linemen. I mean, I was complaining about linebackers who were 240. This guy is one of the lighter linebackers in this class. And while he's a strong run defender, his tackling can be inconsistent at times, and that's typically due to his short arm length and him being undersized. And while he's very good in coverage, there have been times where he's just left receivers open, which is a minor problem that you'd like to clean up, as he does have the instincts. I believe he can improve there, but that's something to keep note of. He also bites on play action, and another thing to note, due to his small stature, for an NFL player that is, he does not have much blitzing upside. That's one of the main sticking points why I don't have him top 3, because all the top 3 guys all have pass rush ability as blitzers. Some even as potential edges, but Rodriguez doesn't really have that upside. While he can blitz, he can really only get to the quarterback when he's basically free to hit him and he's unblocked. If he's blocked, he's not having any sort of power to push that lineman back, and he's likely going to get pushed back himself. But I still think as an off-ball linebacker, he is one of the best in this class, and that's why even though I have pass rush gripes with him, I still rate him as plus starter. My number 5 linebacker in this class is CJ Allen from Georgia. He is one of the best run defenders in this class. I mean, his tackling is excellent. He flies downhill and hits running backs with authority. I mean, you go up the middle, you are getting hit by him. And that was one of the treats to watching his game. He's got very good speed himself, and he's able to cover sideline to sideline in a hurry. And as a blitzer, he's got some upside. When he finds a crease, he is getting to the quarterback in a hurry. And he's shown up as a blitzer multiple times on his tape, and it was fun to watch. However, his coverage upside is pretty limited. While he's got good speed, out of the linebackers I've talked about so far, he's probably got the worst lateral quickness ability. He can't really cover all that well, and that was a major sticking point in his film, and that's why I have him quite a bit lower than many people do. He can do 2 phases of the game really well, blitzing and run defense. Pass defense, pretty mediocre to be honest. Plus, he is rather undersized, so a lot of the same problems as the other guys. If an offensive lineman gets hold of him, he's out of the play likely, and he's quite a bit smaller than some of the other guys. He's only 6 foot 231, so even smaller than Jacob Rodriguez. And another issue with him, he doesn't really create those splash plays. He's a reliable linebacker who will make his play when he needs to, like getting a stop, putting pressure on the quarterback, and maybe getting the occasional sack. But he doesn't really create turnovers, so that also limits his upside somewhat. In my opinion, he has one of the highest floors of any linebacker in this class, but his ceiling is rather limited compared to the other guys. My number 6 linebacker in this class is Jake Golday from Cincinnati. He is an interesting prospect. He's got very good size, plus very good speed, which is not a combination you see too often. It's usually the smaller linebackers that are fast. Not this guy. He is 6'4" and can run a 4.5, which means sideline to sideline speed. And he's got solid athleticism. It's not superb, but it's definitely above average, and that helps him a lot. His run defense is very impressive, and he's got pretty solid production as well, 105 tackles last year. Plus, he's got some upside as a pass rusher. He used to be a defensive end, so he understands the position well and can rush the passer. He had 1.5 sacks against UCF in one of his best games so far, and that shows the potential he can have as both a run defender and a pass rusher. Now, there are some issues with him, which is why I have him ranked rather low. He's actually kind of raw overall. His zone coverage, while he can drop back into coverage better than most people his size, his zone instincts are rather iffy, and he gets manipulated by route combinations quite often, so his route recognition isn't ideal, and that definitely needs some work. Plus, his pass rushing outside of the bull rush, whatever, he definitely needs to create some more pass rush moves because he has the physical talent to be a very good pass rusher, but he just needs to develop it further. And his overall instincts at the position are quite limited. He's only had 1 season at playing true off-ball linebacker, so he really hasn't had time to really develop the intimate knowledge of the position yet. So it's going to take him time to really develop, but his upside is pretty solid. but you need to be patient with him as a prospect. My number 7 linebacker in this class is Aiden Fisher from Indiana. This is a very underrated prospect. His run defense is very strong. He's got excellent instincts for the run. He reads blocking schemes extremely well, and that allows him to find the gaps in order to punish running backs. And he's a very solid tackler as well. And plus, as a blitzer, he showed some impressive growth, nearly tripling his sack total from 2024. And that shows some impressive growth as well. He has this really nice move to get under blocks without losing any sort of ground to really make the plays on the ball carrier. His tape was extremely underrated. Now, he is undersized like a lot of linebackers in this draft class. Now, despite being undersized, he doesn't really carry the advantages of being undersized either. He's not all that great of an athlete. He's pretty average, and his foot speed is average at best. And that did show up on tape in that he's not able to close gaps as quickly as other guys, but I do think his football IQ is high enough where he's able to anticipate these. And the QB rating he allowed, according to PFF, was 45. That's rather impressive, but let's not pretend he's actually that elite in coverage. He's pretty limited as an athlete, so his man coverage, don't expect much from it, and zone coverage, while he was quite good at it, he's not able to close those gaps super quickly, so if he misreads, he has a limited margin for error. And his open field tackling is a little bit of an issue when it comes to shifty players. They can easily break his tackles, so he's not a sure tackler, but he's still a good tackler. You're not going to really complain too much about it. He's not going to miss constantly, that is. However, despite his shortcomings, I think he can be a very solid starter, and he will go earlier in the draft than most people expect. My number 8 linebacker in this class is Josiah Trotter from Mizzou. This guy is a reliable run defender. It is his calling card. That is what he's by far the best at. He is a reliable tackler. He reads rush lanes and erases them before they can really even get anywhere. And he processes those run schemes extremely quickly. So he's on the ball carrier very quickly. And he's got good speed. While it's not amazing, it's definitely functional enough. And as a blitzer, he's pretty solid. He's able to find those gaps and exploit them and get to the quarterback. It doesn't happen all that often, as he's not asked to blitz all that much, but when he does, he's effective at it. Now, he's also a little bit undersized. His arm length is far from ideal, and his coverage is a clear weakness. Man coverage, don't even bother. He does not have the lateral quickness to do it. And if you ask him to do it at all, you're asking for disaster. And his zone coverage also isn't ideal. He's very slow reading routes and coverage, so his zone ability is likely pretty capped. He's not going to really develop into a Pro Bowl linebacker in my opinion, but he will likely be a very solid linebacker for a team, at least in a role, or he can possibly develop into a solid starter. But as you saw from his original graphic, I rated him as rotational player, but a high-end one at that. My number 9 linebacker in this class is Caleb Elarms-Orr from TCU. This is a very interesting linebacker on day 3. I think he should be valued more highly, and here's why. He's got elite speed, and his run defense has dramatically improved to being a strong point in his game, and he tackles with authority and doesn't miss all that many tackles. Plus, he's got a ton of experience. In 2025, he had one of the most snaps of any linebacker in FBS. So that shows he is extremely durable and got great conditioning, and his motor runs extremely hot through the whistle. Plus, as a blitzer, he's extremely comfortable. He came out with 25 pressures and 4 sacks. So he is a quality pass rusher as well, and he's shown amazing growth since his freshman season. He went from middling grades at Cal to strong grades at TCU, so it shows he's still a growing player, and he plays with a competitive fire that coaches in the league are going to love. Now, he's still got plenty of room to grow. Even though he is a solid athlete, his coverage ability is still capped, as his hips aren't very fluid, his lateral mobility isn't that great, and his man coverage ability isn't all that great. And in zone coverage, he's still working on those instincts. While he's serviceable in zone coverage, he doesn't really contest the passes all that great and allows a fairly high completion rate. And he's rather undersized, and that's pretty much a criticism I can say for literally every linebacker in this class. There are a lot of small linebackers and not a lot of really big linebackers, which, yeah, that's how the NFL is trending. Running backs are about to feast in a few years. Also, his pursuit angles are hit and miss. He could have real good pursuit angles one play and completely whiff the next play. And his ball production is rather lacking, which is not a great sign when it comes to his coverage ability. So I think while he could be serviceable in coverage, he's probably not going to be all that great. But I do think he's got better coverage upside than a lot of other linebackers in this class. So I find him rather valuable on day 3, and I think he could develop into a solid starter. But for now, I have him as a rotational player. And my number 10 linebacker in this class is Kyle Lewis from Pitt. This guy is also another interesting prospect. He is a safety linebacker hybrid. He is one of the lightest linebackers in this class at 6 foot 220, so that really limits his ability as a true linebacker. This guy is going to be extremely scheme dependent. If you put him in the right scheme, he can be extremely successful, as he is very athletic, one of the most athletic linebackers in this class, and one of the most athletic guys on day 3. So he's definitely a guy I would not mind taking a chance on in maybe like the 5th round. As a coverage linebacker, or hybrid, he's got some great upside because he's one of the few linebackers in this class I could actually see with the ability to play man. He can actually mirror wide receiver routes and follow them extremely closely. And he's pretty solid in zone coverage as well. And he's also got some solid ball production. I mean, he can create some turnovers and create some impressive ones as well. And as a blitzer, he is also pretty solid. He's got upside as a blitzer. He's able to find those gaps and exploit them to get to the quarterback. As a tackler, his undersized frame shows up, as he's not really able to attack with all that much power, and he ends up doing a lot more drag downs than actually hits. And when he gets swallowed up by blocks, good luck. Yeah, it's probably one of the worst cases in this class. If he gets blocked, he's getting shoved out the play, and multiple times I saw him on the ground on his tape. And in 2025, he was rather inconsistent. He had some flashes of great play and some really rough games as well. So this guy needs some development, but I do like his upside, so I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him on day 3. Anyways, what do you guys think of my list so far? Do you think there should be any other linebackers on this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and sub. It's greatly appreciated and lets me know you guys enjoy these videos. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.